Someone on an occult message board sent me instructions for a ritual I've never heard of before. I'm not sure what to make of it. It sounds made up, but I think I'm going to attempt it at some point out of curiosity. I had never spoken to this person before, and mostly just lurked on the site. The person's account was deleted shortly after I was messaged, so I was unable to respond. That's what has piqued my interest in this ritual the most, to be honest. Here's what I was sent. The swinging ritual. The only thing required to complete this ritual is access to a swing of some kind. The swing at your local park, or even your own backyard, will work. The only caveat is there needs to be at least 2 swings present. Note, trying the ritual on a swing in your backyard is very risky and not recommended. To begin the ritual, go to the swing you intend to use at midnight. Make sure you go on foot or someone else drives you there. However, if someone else drives you, they must leave. The ritual has never worked with more than one person present. You must walk home after you have started the ritual. Sit down on one of the swings right at midnight and begin swinging back and forth. It does not matter how high or fast you swing. Do this until 12:30. Setting a timer on your cell phone or bringing a watch is recommended. At 12:30, you need to have stopped swinging completely, preferably slowly, but an abrupt stop will likely still work. After you have stopped swinging, stand up and move to a different swing. Do not start swinging. Wait for exactly 5 minutes. If the swing you got up from starts moving, even slightly, the ritual has failed. You must start swinging for another 30 minutes before you can get up, stopping right as the 30 mark arrives, as you did before. You may then go home in whatever manner you please. If after 5 minutes the swing you got up from has remained still, then you must get up and begin walking back towards your home. Do not look at or acknowledge the shadow in your periphery. It is going to follow you. The shadow will attempt to find out where you live. It is imperative that the shadow does not see you enter your home. In order to lose the shadow on your way back home, take an unusual route back to your home. The longer the better. However, it is important you get back home before sunrise, so don't take too long walking back. An hour and a half is typically for the best. Take too long and the ritual will fail. Nothing will happen. Get home too quickly, and the shadow will come inside with you. However, no amount of time is a guarantee. You must keep the shadow in your periphery while you walk. Not being able to see it is the best sign that you have lost it. Do not go back the way you came after noticing it's gone, or it may find you again. Once the ritual has started, it usually remains active until sunrise. Do not turn around to check for any reason. Once home, if completed correctly, you should not be able to see your own shadow until you wake up the next morning. If you get home and can see your shadow after beginning the ritual and before sleeping, the shadow has found where you live. I'm going to try this out tomorrow night and see how it goes. I usually enjoy these things, so I'm hoping for a good scare. A few days ago, I posted about a ritual someone anonymously sent me. It was called the swinging ritual. I'd never heard of it before, but decided to try it for fun. I thought I did everything right. I followed the fucking instructions I was sent to the letter, but I think I messed up somehow. I feel cold all the time. Everything gets dimmer by the hour, even outside when the sun is up. I think I'm losing my mind. I waited until around 11:45 at night before walking over to the local park near my apartment. It's a small park normally, filled with children and their families during the day. At night, it's technically closed to the public, but there aren't any gates or anything to actually stop people from entering after hours. The walk to the park takes less than 5 minutes, even if I walk slowly. I figured this was better than the parks further away from my apartment, because it would be hard to get lost, no matter what direction I took to get back. I got to the park with roughly 12 minutes until midnight. I set the alarm on my phone to go off at exactly 12:30 and sat on one of the benches near the swing sets. The wind was mild, but still noticeable by the way the trees moved. I wondered if that would have any effect on the outcome. I figured it wouldn't. If this was supposed to be some sort of supernatural thing, why would wind be determinative? The recipe didn't mention anything about picking a windless night, so I stopped worrying about it. 11:59 came quicker than I expected. I walked over to one of the swing sets, with only 2 swings on it, and sat down on the left side. I stayed still, staring at my phone's clock. Finally, 12 o'clock came. I put my phone away and started swinging. Swinging as an adult is strangely relaxing, especially at night when most of the city has gone to sleep. I resisted the urge to swing high like I loved doing as a kid. I stayed close to the ground so I would be able to stop right when I was supposed to. I didn't pay any attention to the time. I almost lost focus staring into the dark, empty park. My phone alarm startled me so much, I nearly fell off the swing. Luckily, my feet hit the ground, bringing the swing and myself to a complete stop. I felt nervous. This was where I would find out if this was just some nonsense someone made up on the internet. I got up and sat down in the swing next to the one I had been in. I sat there, half staring forward, and half glancing at the swing next to me. The wind was still blowing. I could feel it on my face and arms. 12:35. The swing next to me never moved. Game on, I thought. I stood up. I felt colder than before, but just barely. I noticed the night was darker just to my right. I didn't say anything. I just started walking. As I walked, the shadow remained in my right periphery. My back felt colder than my front. My forehead started to sweat slightly. I could feel my heart beating faster. The ritual was working. I was excited. None of these things had ever worked for me before. I kept to myself as calm as I could. After all, being out at night alone and not saying a word could have played tricks on me. I walked down the street and past the road that went to my apartment. I planned to walk around a few blocks. Most of the neighborhoods here resemble each other, and often loop around. I've been lost walking before, so I figured it wouldn't be hard to lose this shadow. I walked for around 20 minutes or so in the opposite direction of my apartment before coming up on the turn that was going to take me back. I paused because I saw headlights coming down the road. It's late. I had to cross here, and people in this neighborhood don't care for slowing down. The headlight slammed me as the car drove by. I've been in the dark so long that lights this bright were blinding. My head turned in the direction of the car as it passed me. As the car went by, the shadow in my periphery stretched. I almost saw more of it than I was supposed to. I turned my head quickly to avoid it moving in front of me, even a little. I tried my best not to look. I didn't look. But light moves so fast. I saw the first split second of it enlarge as the light crossed my path. I stood there for a second, uncertain. The shadow was still in my periphery after the light left. My back was still cold, but not colder. I exhaled from relief and kept walking. 10 minutes from my apartment, I noticed the shadow was gone. I must have lost it. I smiled a bit and continued on. Just for kicks, I cut through some alleys to extend the time to my apartment and make sure it didn't find me. I got back to my apartment. I paused at the door and focused on my peripheries. No shadow, no chill in my back. I unlocked the door and went inside. I stumbled across my dark apartment. Whoever thought to place the only light switch across the room has a lot of stubbed toes to answer for. I got to the light and switched it on. I gasped when I didn't see a shadow. I yelled in excitement. I can't wait to post about this shit, I said to myself. I jumped into bed, eager to see if my shadow returned in the morning. I woke up later than I planned. My alarm didn't go off. Figures, right? I turned my light on. I looked behind me, in front of me, and even right below my feet. No shadow. I must still be half asleep, I thought to myself. I made some coffee and sat down at my computer desk. After browsing the web and waking up a bit, I started to feel chilly. But that's normal for my apartment. I turned on my base heater and wrapped myself in a blanket. But I stayed cold. Even my scalding coffee did nothing to help. I assumed I was sick and stayed home for the day. I never got warmer. To make things worse, my light bulb stopped working. Or at least, that's what I thought at first. They got dimmer and dimmer, until they might as well have been turned off. I changed them, but even the new bulbs were as dim as the other ones. The sun was up, and my darkening phone screen said it was 70 degrees outside. I went outside and was hit by a terrible chill. I could see the sun from where I was standing, but it was as dim as if covered by clouds. Stranger still, I saw people outside in shorts and tank tops. I was wearing a full coat and still shivering. This got worse throughout the day. I just shivered in the dimmed light of my apartment until I started hallucinating. As I went to the kitchen to get something to eat, I disassociated more than I had ever on any drug. For just a brief moment, I could have sworn I was walking behind myself. I splashed some water on my face. It was still cold and dark, but I wasn't behind myself anymore. Until this morning, anyway. I woke up as usual, made coffee, and sat on my computer. Or, to be more accurate, I sat behind myself sitting in my computer. I watched myself scroll through the same websites I always do. I saw myself check and respond to emails as I normally do. I saw myself drink coffee as I did every morning. I heard myself say, "Feels good to finally be warm. I thought that cold would never end." I was still freezing. Why would I say something like that? I slapped my face and found myself sitting in my computer. I started crying. I'm still crying as I write this. I'm not sure I've mentioned everything that needs to be said. I'm writing as fast as I can because I'm not sure I'll get another chance. I did everything right. I didn't turn around. I didn't see a shadow the night I came home. Why the fuck didn't the ritual recipe say anything about this? Don't do the swinging ritual. I don't know what's happening anymore. The recipe I posted was incomplete. Please, it feels good to be warm. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below, and tell me what you thought of this narration. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for updates, and if you'd like to get early videos, shoutouts, and much more, I'd appreciate it if you check out my Patreon page. It's a place where you can help support my channel while getting awesome rewards in the process, and every pledge helps out a ton, no matter the size. So if you'd like to see all the rewards I offer and consider becoming a patron, it'd mean a ton to me if you'd click the link in the description and just check it out. And don't forget to show some love to the amazingly talented authors who make these narrations possible. Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.